Starting today, team, with some high volume squats. 4 sets, 12 reps, 70%. So for me, it's 140 kilos. The goal with this is to like overload the muscles, so try not to pause at the top of the rep and like take a breath. Try and do 12 in a consecutive motion, but it's not as easy as you think. Last 2 or 3, I usually have to pause. But the goal is not to pause. Oh, pause.
1.
Team, people always look at CrossFit and bodybuilding like 2 different things. Yes, I did this sort of rep range and squat style when I was bodybuilding, but I still do it once every other week, if not once a week, whilst doing CrossFit. Just to maintain that muscle mass, kind of the 8 to 12 rep scheme, looking at time under tension of around 40 to 60 seconds, makes your body rely on the glycolytic energy system, which then forms lactic acid over the sets, causes a surge in different hormones like growth hormone and testosterone, helping your muscles to grow. Also, the time under tension leads to more damage within the muscle, and obviously as it repairs itself, it grows as long as you feed it with good food. Also, doing sets like this builds up your tolerance to the lactic acid within your muscles so you can cope with it better, and that's needed in CrossFit workouts. You know, if you do CrossFit, you see a lot of high volume, heavy-ish weight workouts, so doing bodybuilding style squats in CrossFit is, within your CrossFit training, is very useful and shouldn't be overlooked, especially if you want to gain muscle too.
Ow. Right, even when I click on the screen, it doesn't.
Ow. Ow. Today in the garage, we're doing some speed squats. So like what we're doing, getting a good amount of tension at the top, taking a deep breath, keeping those hands as narrow as we possibly can to keep the back tight. And what we're doing is we're doing like a controlled descent, so like 2 or 3 seconds on the way down. And then as soon as you hit the bottom, keeping a good position and just driving up as fast as you can. Like the weight is, to be fair, it's 85% of my 1RM. We're doing it for 3 reps. But I'm pretty good at higher volumes of my 1RM. Like my 1RM isn't like that high, but for what I can rep at percentage wise, I'm pretty good at that. So like most CrossFitters are, to be fair, we're just working on that change in direction, speed, and driving out the bottom. You know, like with weightlifting, it's different weightlifting squats to like bodybuilding squats. Bodybuilding squats, you want to keep tempo and constant contraction. Whereas if you think about weightlifting, the main thing that you need to do when you do like a clean or a snatch is you need to hit the bottom and quickly change direction and drive out. You don't want to be spending any more time in the hole than you need to. So that's what we're working on today. Speed, that change of direction speed. It's just another bow to the string, is that what they call it? Bow to the arrow? String to the bow.
String to the bow.
Like a lot of people, when they think about squats, they think about sets, they think like 5x5 to get stronger, or they think about pause squats to just get that drive out of the bottom. So if you get pinned, you'll have that base strength. But sometimes just chuck in some good speed reps and really control the descent and then really explode out. That's what we're doing today. With some banging tunes. Narrow hands. Like I put my what's this finger, Jess?
Index.
I put my index finger around the edge of the knurling. That's how narrow I grip the bar. Because the wider you go, the less contraction you'll have in your back. If you can keep them narrow, keeps you a good solid upper back, keeps that strong, and then if you can keep your core strong, you're just relying on the legs.
Sound like a deflating balloon.
Literally. Right, when you're squatting kind of heavy, like I'm not a massive squat, I'm not a power lifter. Got my sneaky belt. When you have it on your back, take a deep breath into the belt. So like you're pushing against the belt, increasing the pressure in the core, strong, stable core. With a deep breath, like you'll hear me, I'll be like, and then when you hit the bottom, when I drive, I just end up exhaling a little bit. I just do, because that's like me maximal efforting. We have a friend that farts when they maximum exhale on the squat, and sometimes that's how you know you're really giving it your all. That pressure. Are you ready for more popcorn knees? The clicks for me, like people are like, whoa, but what it is there's synovial fluid in the joint. And when you open it up, there's like an air bubble that like opens up and then pops when I hit the bottom. So there's nothing to worry about. It's what mostly causes the clicks. That was really slow, the last set. Also, one of the things you got to think about when you're squatting, like, a lot of people think that the squat is just a drive out of the bottom phase. That's it, like that's the main part of the squat. With squats, the descent is such an important part. Like you'll see it with big powerlifters that are just moving massive weight. You won't see them drop into the bottom of the squat like it's the weight's controlling them. But I see it a lot in CrossFit boxes. So one of the things that you should start doing if you don't do it already in squats is controlling the descent, especially when you're training. Like think of it as when you're pulling the bar off the floor for a snatch or a clean, right? The most important part is your setup and the initial pull. From there, like that first stage will make or break the lift. It's the same thing with the squat. Like if you let the weight crush you and bury you down, and you don't practice a lot controlling the weight when you're descending, it means that when you come to accelerate out the bottom and you hit the bounce, you'll probably fall forward onto your toes, or you'll fall back, or you'll buckle, and you like fail the lift. And you recruit more muscle fibers when your muscles are actually like lengthening compared to like the contraction phase when you're driving back up. So use them, make them strong.
Science.
Science, kind of science. Science and practice. Look, am I going to be the best CrossFitter in the world? No. Am I going to be the strongest man in the world? No. Am I going to be the best powerlifter in the world? No. But I'm going to train and I'm going to enjoy it. Like it's only 3 reps and usually like I've done 5x5s at heavier, but because I'm concentrating on really being as explosive as possible, the last couple of sets they get slower. But I still think fast. I still, when I hit the bottom, I'm like as fast as I can. But it just doesn't turn out that way. Like it doesn't really translate.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thoughts that counts. Think fast. That song must be like 2,000 years old. And there you go, team. There's 2 kind of squats that you should be including in your CrossFit training. You know, it doesn't always happen, but like a lot of people get stuck in the rut of like, oh, I'm just going to do a 5x5. And you just go in there and you do 5x5 squats, or you just like do 4x10, or you name it. You kind of just end up going in there and doing it. But just I hope off this video, you learned a few cues, like with the hands, with the breathing into the belt. And you know, like sometimes it's like doing a normal CrossFit workout. You have to think of the purpose and the intent of the workout. You have to kind of think of the same thing about your squats, and then how you're going to attack them from there. Like if you want to get better at weightlifting, squat like the second part of this video more often. Do it for front and back squats. Hitting that bounce and really exploding out. If you want to build bigger legs, put some more muscle on them so you can turn that muscle into more strength, then do some more bodybuilding in your training. Or if you get stuck more often than not in the bottom of the squat from Olympic lifts or just general strength training, then train pause squats, where you sit in the bottom of the squat 2 or 3 seconds and then drive out more often than the others. If you're a CrossFitter, you probably should be doing all of them. I think the best time that I ever increased my squat, I hit like my 200 kilo goal. And it only took me a couple of months of squatting heavy once a week. And then I alternated between paused reps for the second session of the week. And then the second week I'd do heavy and then I'd do speed reps. But yeah, hope you learned something from this video. If you did, as always, smash that like button. It really does help the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. And we'll catch you in the next video, you bunch of legends.
Like, subscribe, swipe up.